Morning. Good morning. Breakfast. How about you? Bacon? Eggs? Scrambled? Over easy. Sunny side up. Sunny side up hard. That's a new one. You didn't know that, did you? They say eggs, if you do not cook them, when you leave them like the yolk still mushy and dip your toast in it with salt and pepper, it tastes really, really good. They say that's bad for you, cholesterol. But if you cook them hard, and if you want to be fancy, do it sunny side up, hard, and you got a healthy, beautiful, sunny breakfast dinner. Anyways, dinner's for you guys because I would have it for breakfast, but I seem to have more time in the morning until about dinner time. It's about how much time I have. I wish I had a job. And I was thinking, just in the last 2 minutes, maybe I should do a podcast. And this is the thing I would say. I don't have a pod. These are a lot better than the toaster. I'll tell you that. Oh, I've seen a toaster before. What kind of toaster do you have? I have found out that it matters, though. It really matters. Oh, boy. JPM. Or, got JPM on. Jean-Pierre Morgan. That's a bank, obviously, and it's a stock bank. But the CEO there, I was telling him, I said, you had to come to our state and make accounts because they're not in our state. And there's a lot of, if you know how banks work, a lot of banks want to be there and a lot don't anyways. But if you open accounts up, I said, what was that? Yeah, you want to look around? I don't think there's enough buzz. I still had a bad taste in my mouth. Anyways, I said if you open accounts, you got to give away toasters. Toasters. Anyways, this kind of goes with the story that's already involved. And I was thinking, I want a toaster. So I think maybe I will open an account up. I can't seem to think. The name doesn't fit right now. That's where I'm going. Jean-Pierre. See, Jean-Pierre Morgan. Wait, no. Jean-Pierre Morgan was an advanced banker. And in the middle of this crisis, this money crisis, Morgan made a save for the nation. He actually, don't quote me on anything. He actually, when I say that, that means you have to look it up and then say, oh yeah, no, this is what it really meant. This is what it really said. But this, I'm pretty much about right. So anyways, don't quote me on it. But so he went in there and he made a financial decision with a few other people and uh, maybe some congressional people and some paper and some cash. And he made a save on the stock market because it was crashing. But yeah. And it was famous. Well, he was famous. I would probably call it the flu, I think is what it really was. But I don't know that. But about that time, there was the same thing. If you know anything about that, pretty much wipes the stock market out. Why? Because everybody dies. And flu is a wicked, wicked thing. Anyway. So he's an important banker, which comes to making his bank, and his bank is still around today. And the guy running it, I appreciate very much. And I just have to say, you ever notice stock things? Of course, he has, because bankers use stock charts and financial charts to identify and help things, So let's just say you were a banker and you were looking for clients, okay? Clients. I missed it too. It was right in my talk. And it fell on a crack. So you're going to identify, right, just like a candy jar on your desk, which every banker has one of those. Why? Anyways, let's go back to this. Why would a banker want clients? So what you would do is you would take a stock chart, cross stock off it, and just use the chart, and you look for ways to help people. Now, if you take somebody's account and you chart it, you will see how things go. It just goes, for you, that looks like down and down and down. For me, that looks like up and up and up. See, because this is up, this is down. So I'm going this way. When you look at it, this would be going down, and this would be going up. If you see stock charts that go like this, it means there is movement in time. So when it moves like this, it's time. When it moves like this, it's a movement. So when a chart moves, when it moves this way or that way, which only moves one way, but considering us looking at each other, that's time movement. That's time, When it moves the other way, it's the amount. Anyways, so if you see somebody's always going down when it gets to zero, if it goes below zero, that's your F bank. F bank, F bank. Which I heard there's some states that are F banks. Anyways, so if it goes to zero and then goes below zero, that's when the bank hits them. So the guy will be like, he'll be spending money, hits zero, and then the bank will knock him a few fees in the head, right? We'll take him below zero, into the minus zone. And every day, really every week, that will multiply by 100% or more. And depending on how many items or how many things. In this case, when you run a debit account, it can't go below zero. Well, anyways, maybe I have a credit account, or is that a checking account? Checking account. So that means two more down the crack. If I have a checking account, let's talk this out right here. If I have a checking account, I can actually go below zero. But if I have a debit account, it goes to zero. Pretty much. How come? No, so that is why I'm always bouncing checks, which I don't do checks. I have a credit card. So I'm bouncing my credit card fee for $1,500 a year. It's quite a bit. That's actually 15% of my money. Yeah. On an average, I guess. So how would I fix that? Don't spend all my money. Or maybe make it a higher amount. Which comes us into the federal minimum wage. And the federal minimum wage is determined by the congressional men, I guess, Congress. Would you not think so? So why is it so low? So we'll end this to Congress and tell them I have been pushing the federal minimum wage for 15 years. No, 10 years for sure, 10. And I've been pushing $12. Now, you got to understand that at that time, the federal minimum wage was at 6. I was pushing 12. 12. So now that the chart went this way, the time has gone by in the stock chart time. You'll understand that it keeps going down, down, because everything else keeps going up. So actually it's going down and forward. And when they bring it up, they only bring it up to an amount that leaves inflation, meaning you don't get any more. So the federal minimum wage is actually behind the times. I talked to this person in the state. What's her name? I do all the stuff for the state, whatever that name is. Her, yeah. She does all the money stuff. And, well, I shouldn't say that. She did something else. But anyways, I talked to her and I said, well, the minimum wage is too low. She says, yeah, And I said, well, it should be, I was at $12 at that time. And she said, no, actually doing this certain thing, it should be at $19 is where the minimum wage should be from 1980. 1980 is where they decided we're just going to not pay the minimum wage because 90% of the people don't get the minimum wage. And I'm like, well, 90% of the people don't get the minimum wage because the boss is smart and says, if I give him the lowest wage, it's not going to work, so I'll give him an extra dime. And I have too many stories to tell once. Or an extra dollar, or whatever you want. $1 would be worth it. So hardly anybody gets minimum wage exactly, but that's where everybody is bound to. And it's not enough, and it's behind. So going to 1980 and forward, the minimum wage 8 years ago, or 10 years ago, should have been $19.10. That's what the minimum wage should have been, which it was at, what, $7? What makes you think that that's going to work? They're just making more and more poverty people, you know? And then you get this inflation deal. So, which you understand how inflation works. So everybody gets 2%. That's how they raise the check. So let's say I'm you, and where's my phone? What's the congressman get today? $200,000? I think 165 is what I was thinking, but wow. Let's say $200,000 is what a congressional person gets. You go 2% of that. What's that? $4,000, which, I mean, $4,000, that's quite a bit of money. Let's go backwards to the minimum wage guy. What does he get? $24. $24. What do you think about that? Minimum wage? That inflation is an important deal. So if this coffee cost me $2.07, not considering my extra loyalty work, which is worth 99 cents. Actually, it's worth a whole dollar today. Whether or not I'm going into too many things here. The minimum wage needs to be put up. I've been preaching that for years. And $12 was my number. And it seems like today, around here anyways, $17 is about where they start people at fast food. I was like, that's quite a bit, considering. So if the federal wage should have been $19 10 years ago, why is it so low? And I have to ask the Congress, why don't you fix it? Now, I do understand that the minimum wage is stapled to the back of Social Security and retirement. So anybody that gets money from SSI gets the minimum wage, right? So they can stay alive. Are you guys cheating? Yeah, I was thinking that. Because that needs to be changed. Anyways, if they raise the federal minimum wage, all the retirees, all the people that get money from SSI will get more. So make sure you vote for that. That means grandpa and grandma, they're getting $1,200 a month, something like that. 800, 600. You can't live on $600 for sure. Whether or not it needs to be 22 as a minimum. You cannot live on less than that. So, Jean Pierre Morgan saved the stock market. This is down in the 1900s. A box of stuff with a bunch of papers in it, some cash. Must have been a good deal. So his bank is still around. And what I was saying is, his bank's not common very often. So maybe they should. I want to get an account there. I heard he's giving toasters out. I mean, you get a good General Electric toaster. You know, you got like 3 knobs on that thing. You can cook just about anything. You can cook Pop Tarts, you can cook bagels, you can actually defrost and toast something. It's a cook deal, you know, it's got to be perfect. So the federal minimum wage has to come up. Congress seems to be lagging, and since 1980. And I still think Greenspan was kind of supporting that as not good advice. And that they believe in that, what do you call it? Keynesian deal. But, anyways, I think we should go with a raise, federal minimum wage, but not percentages. We'll just go with a straight $100. $100 straight up. Everybody. Everybody.